Ever found yourself, like, deep in a YouTube spiral and suddenly you're watching something like Shaolin Warrior Monk, hidden epidemic nobody talks about. This modern habit is killing
Oh,
millions.
yeah, those titles grab you. And often it's Master Shahungi, right? This world's most hardcore monk guy.
Exactly. He's positioned as someone who really helps people, control their minds. So today we're doing a deep dive into a recent conversation with him, not really to debunk anything, but more to unpack his core ideas from all.
hmm Our goal is basically to pull out the key stuff from that interview that might actually help with the challenges, well, you might be facing day to day. Things like making decisions, mental well-being,
Finding purpose, that big one.
right, finding purpose. We'll look at his thoughts on focus, getting past those internal blocks. He calls them the 5 hindrances, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And also managing emotions, breaking negative habits, even the importance of the physical body, and these Shaolin virtues he talks about.
Think of it as us trying to connect this ancient wisdom to, like, your modern life. We want to find those aha moments, the really useful bits, without getting bogged down.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so one of the first things Master Shahangi brings up, and it really hit home for me, is this idea of diversity and choice in our world today.
Ah, yes.
He says having so many options actually makes deciding things, well, really hard.
And his take on the solution is quite counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
He doesn't say, look for more information out there.
Yeah.
He says the answer is inside. It's about learning more about yourself, getting the right perspective of who you are.
It makes sense, though, right? When you feel totally overwhelmed by choices, maybe the first step isn't analyzing every single option.
But understanding your own internal compass first.
Exactly. What do you actually value? What drives you?
Right.
Without that, how can you pick the right path?
It's a solid point. Your decisions kind of flow from who you believe you are or who you want to be. If that foundation isn't clear, well, the choices might not stick or feel right.
He also talks quite a bit about the body, how we often don't use your body as it is intended to be.
The sitting thing, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned that specifically. Too much sitting, not enough movement.
Yeah. And he connects this physical stagnation to, like, real consequences for our minds.
Unbalanced energies was the phrase he used,
Yeah.
leading to things like anxiety, dissatisfaction.
And not really being present, being stuck in illusions and dreams and assumptions, as he put it.
It's a fascinating link. If you're feeling anxious or just generally off, maybe part of it is this disconnect from your physical self.
Could be like you're living in your head, not really grounded in your body or the present moment.
Yeah, and being physically stagnant can definitely make the mind more prone to wandering off into those worries and what-ifs
Yeah.
instead of just experiencing what's happening now.
Okay, so moving on to purpose. His view on this felt, well, less intimidating than I expected.
How so?
He talks about it being really personal, like how do you want to write your story, especially considering, our limited time. He bluntly says maybe 50 more years to go in that body.
Wow, that's direct.
It is, but it focuses you. And he uses this great analogy, being the director of your own movie.
Ah, I remember that. Stepping back and observing your life's narrative.
Yeah, to get perspective. And he also suggests that maybe a big part of our purpose is simply to just be and experience life fully, not taking our current identity too serious.
That's quite liberating, isn't it? Especially if you feel pressure to find some huge singular purpose.
Totally. Maybe it's more about how you live, how consciously you engage with your time, rather than finding one specific label or mission, being present for the movie you're directing.
And that bit about not taking identity too seriously, if you're too
Yeah.
fixed on this is who I am, you might miss the chance to just be and grow and experience things that don't fit the label.
He also talked about loneliness, which feels very relevant today.
Even when surrounded by people. He mentioned feeling lonely in a crowd of thousands.
Yeah. And his insight was that real connection doesn't just come from being near others, it starts
Inside, within the self.
right, which then led him to talk about this idea of a universal source.
Like the universe or God or infinite energy. The underlying connection between everything.
Exactly. He sees that as the ultimate connection, deeper than family or human labels, the source from which duality, like yin and yang, emerges.
That can sound a bit abstract, maybe.
Oh, for sure. And he acknowledges that. He says he can only point towards it, that it's something you have to kind of discover or feel for yourself.
So the takeaway isn't necessarily needing to grasp the concept fully, But maybe understanding that deep connection, the cure for loneliness, partly comes from finding your place in something bigger than just your individual life.
Yeah, I think that's it. Which kind of flows into his next point about doing versus being.
Ah, the constant tension, always needing to achieve, to do something.
He suggests that drive often comes from a space of lack. Like you feel you need to build up your identity through achievements because you feel incomplete somehow.
Which contrasts with being connected to that source
Mm.
idea where he says there's nothing to add and there's nothing to take away. You're already whole.
And he gives that reality check too. Whatever you achieve, maximum it's going to last 100 years.
A bit sobering.
Right. So all that frantic doing,
Okay.
it has a shelf life. He mentioned 3 ways we learn this lesson, basically.
Experience, learning from a guide, or contemplation.
Yep. Just thinking it through.
So it implies there's an alternative to constantly chasing external validation, a path focused more on inner understanding, on that connection.
Okay, let's talk about breaking negative patterns. This is huge for a lot of people.
Definitely. Those cycles of unhappiness we get stuck in. He used an example of a friend, right? Struggling with relationships because of past bullying.
Yeah. And he shared his own story, too, feeling never enough from his upbringing, his martial arts training, leading him to build this protective shield.
So how does he suggest breaking these patterns? Seems like a two-step thing.
Pretty much. First, you have to recognize the pattern, become aware of it playing out.
Okay, awareness first. Makes sense.
And second, you have to actively replace it. Consistently practice new behaviors, like training virtues, he called it.
A training regimen for certain behaviors. I like that phrasing. It makes it sound active, intentional.
It does. Not just wishing a bad habit away, but deliberately building a good one, like training a muscle.
Exactly. It takes consistent effort, repetition, consciously choosing who you want to be, and practicing those qualities.
So what gets in the way? He mentioned the 5 hindrances to focus.
Right. These specific mental states that basically sabotage your efforts. Can we list them again?
Sure. First, sensual desire, getting pulled away by pleasure or distractions.
Like your phone buzzing.
Totally. Second, ill will or aversion, negativity, resentment, wanting to push things away.
Getting annoyed or angry.
Third, dullness or lethargy, that foggy, unmotivated feeling, low energy.
The afternoon slump personified.
Fourth, restlessness or agitation, mind jumping all over the place, can't settle down.
Can't focus.
And fifth, self-doubt, that lack of confidence, indecisiveness.
Oof. Yeah, that's a big one too.
They're all pretty relatable, aren't they? We all experience these. They really do mess with our focus.
They absolutely do. But he offered a tool to work with him, didn't he? The RAIN method.
Yes. RAIN. It's an acronym for a 4-step process.
Okay, let's break it down. R is for.
Recognize or realize. Just noticing, okay, I'm feeling restless right now, or
Yeah.
there's that doubt again.
Just spotting it. Okay, then A.
Allow or accept, not fighting the feeling, not judging yourself for having it, just letting it be there for a moment.
Like, so don't resist.
Then I.
Investigate. Getting curious about it. Like, where do I feel this in my body? What thoughts are attached? Gently exploring.
Like a detective, but with kindness. And N.
Non-identification. This is key. Reminding yourself, this feeling, this thought, it's not me. It's just something I'm experiencing right now. It doesn't define my whole being. That's powerful. Separating yourself from the transient state. You are the observer, not the emotion itself.
Exactly. It gives you space, perspective.
And like you said earlier, awareness is the crucial first step for all of this.
Yeah.
You can't use RAIN if you don't even recognize the hindrances there in the first place.
True. You need to see the cloud before you can decide not to get soaked.
Nicely put. Okay, shifting gears slightly, he talked about dealing with other people's opinions, especially as he became more public.
Yeah, learning not to depend so much on external approval.
He warned about putting people on higher pedestals, right? And needing to figure out what's real and fake in interactions.
Mm-hmm. And ultimately, needing to rely on your own inner compass, your own purity of intention, no matter what others think or say.
That's a constant challenge, isn't it? Especially online where opinions fly thick and fast. Staying true to yourself.
It really is. And he kind of implies that even people close to you might not always get it, which makes that self-reliance even more important.
Okay, let's go back to that brick-breaking thing for a second. Because it wasn't just about strength.
No, not at all. It was about intense focus, mind-body connection. He even described reading the brick.
Reading its energy. Its weak points. That's pretty wild.
It sounds it. But he then connects that intense focus and energy direction to achieving the break.
And the wider point wasn't that we should all break bricks,
Haha, no, definitely not on my list.
but the skills involved, consistency, practice, endurance, that focused training, those are transferable.
Absolutely. They apply to any big goal you want to achieve. The brick is just a very tangible metaphor for what focus and dedication can do.
A symbol of focused intention manifesting. Yeah.
He also laid out the Shaolin virtues, which seem really central to his whole philosophy. He split them into two groups.
Right. Virtues to be expected and virtues to be learned.
The expected ones are foundational: self-control, discipline, and benevolence, like genuinely caring about others.
The baseline character traits. And the learned ones.
Those seem to require more active work. Things like modesty, humility, respect, righteousness, trust, loyalty. It's a long list: willpower, perseverance, persistence, courage, patience.
Wow. That covers a lot of ground.
It does. And he made a distinction, too, between virtues of action, how you behave, and virtues of mind, the inner stuff that helps you act that way.
Ah, okay. So like respect is an action, but patience is a state of mind that helps you be respectful even when it's difficult.
Exactly. One enables the other.
Got it. And when he talks spirituality, he used the term religion of oneness.
Yeah, that core belief in interconnection, that
Yeah.
everything is fundamentally linked.
And his view is that the spiritual path isn't about adding things,
Yeah.
but removing obstacles.
Right. Taking stuff away from you, the limiting beliefs, the rigid identity, the baggage that covers up the completeness you already have.
That's a really different way of looking at it. Not striving for enlightenment, but uncovering it.
Mm-hmm. And related to that, he talked about aiming for peace rather than happiness.
By that distinction.
Because happiness is often fleeting, he said. It's tied to sadness. They're kind of two sides of the same coin. Peace is more stable, enduring.
So peace is the goal. Though he admits even in peace, you still have tough moments. He mentioned karmic relations, those deep connections sometimes causing waves.
Yeah, life still happens. Okay, let's get practical. His morning routine. How does he start his day?
Very intentionally. He tries to wake up with a quiet mind, empty of thoughts.
Easier said than done.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
But he focuses on immersing in the present, doing a slow body scan to check in, and then gradually building energy. And solitude is important for him in that first hour.
He does exercise too, right? Specific things.
Yes. Push-ups, sit-ups, and that standing practice, holding postures like the squatting monkey for like 15 minutes.
15 minutes. That sounds tough.
Exactly the point. He says it builds willpower, mental strength. It's about doing hard things intentionally, like that Shaolin idea of walking through the valley of pain and training, learning to observe discomfort without letting it rule you.
Preparing you for life's inevitable challenges, maybe. Expanding your capacity.
That seems to be the idea, which ties into stepping outside your comfort zone. He had that table metaphor.
Oh, yeah, the table. If your comfort zone is the table, you miss everything else, the beautiful London streets, if you never leave it.
So how do you start leaving the table? What are the first steps?
He suggested small things, like if you're usually quiet, challenge yourself to speak up, learn something new, and try to see uncertainty not as bad, but as potential.
Reframe it as opportunity for growth.
Okay.
But what about fear? That's what often keeps us on the table.
Big one. His perspective was interesting. Partly, it's about waking up from the dream and not taking everything quite so seriously, and partly rationalizing.
Rationalizing.
Yeah, realizing most things we worry about, they just don't happen, and often we have no control anyway. Plus, remembering the world is dualistic, yin and yang, you can't expect constant sunshine.
Accepting the ups and downs as natural can take some of the fear's power away. Makes sense.
Okay, finally, for someone listening who feels lost, unsure where to even start with all this, what was his advice?
It was very practical, he said. Identify the one thing that's bothering you most right now. The main disturbing feeling or negative emotion from the last week or month.
Just one thing.
Just one. Pinpoint that primary blockage. Then investigate what triggers it. And then focus your energy on finding a solution just for that.
Deal with the biggest recurring issue first.
Exactly. Because tackling that often unlocks progress in other areas and helps break those bigger negative cycles.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, if you're listening, what are maybe 2 or 3 key things to take away?
Well, definitely prioritize getting to know yourself better. That internal exploration seems foundational.
Right. And maybe consciously bring some mindful movement into your day. Connect with your body more.
Good one. Also, practice observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Maybe try that RAIN method when you feel overwhelmed or distracted.
And if you're feeling stuck, Do that exercise. Identify the main blockage right now and focus on understanding and addressing that.
And just remember, like his whole life shows, this isn't a quick fix. It's ongoing work, consistent effort, like training.
Absolutely. So he mentioned a regret making a big decision without enough time to really think it through. That leaves us with a final thought for you.
What decisions in your life right now could maybe benefit from a bit more space, more thoughtful consideration? And what tiny step could you take today to create that space?
Or maybe thinking about his journey with external opinions. Yeah. How could you start giving yourself some of the recognition you might be looking for from others?
Lots to chew on there. And if you want more from Master Shah Hungi, definitely check out his book and YouTube channel.
For sure. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.